Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone. We are going to explain about anesthesia documentation. First of all, let me introduce my members. First, me Rizal Ahmad Fadila as the moderator. Second, Dava Afif Setiawan as the speaker one, and then Raihan Rafi Aprilino Sohe as the speaker two. Let's begin. This section will explain by Dava. To Dava, please read the slide.
Okay. One statement on documentation of anesthesia care. Accurate and thorough documentation is an essential element of high quality and safe medical care, and accordingly a basic responsibility of physician anesthesiologists. Anesthesia care is a continuum including three general phases of care: pre-anesthesia, intraoperative or intra-procedural anesthesia, and post-anesthesia care. To contribute to accuracy in medical records and to facilitate any future necessary chart view, anesthesiologists should ensure that accurate and thorough documentation is accomplished in all three phases of anesthesia-related care. Information that is relevant to the perioperative care of a patient that exists elsewhere in the medical record need not be duplicated in the pre-anesthesia evaluation. The anesthesia record or post-anesthesia evaluation. Next, in specific circumstance, emergencies, rapidly developing critical event, time sensitive sequential clinical care activities. An anesthesiologist or anesthesia care team member may be in conflict between a primary obligation to ensure patient safety and best clinical care and contemporaneous medical record documentation. In this circumstance, attention to clinical care requirement remains the primary obligation. Medical record documentation should be provided as soon as appropriate in view of competing primary clinical care requirements. The record shall include documentation of pre-anesthesia evaluation. In this section, patient interview to assess. Number one, patient and procedure identification. Number two, anticipated disposition. Number three, medical history. Example include patient ability to give informed consent. Number four, surgical history. Number five, anesthetic history. And number six, current medication list. Example pre-admission and post-admission. Number B, appropriated physical examination, including vital sign, height and weight, and documentation of airway assessment and cardiopulmonary exam. Next, number C, review of objective diagnostic data, etc. Example, laboratory and electrocardiography, X-ray, and medical record. Next, number D, medical consultation when applicable. Next, number E, assessment of ASA physical status, including emergency status when applicable. Number F, the anesthetic plan, example including plans for post-anesthesia care and pain management. G, documentation of informed consent, example to include rates, benefit, and alternative of the anesthetic plan and post-operative pain management plan. H, appropriate premedication and prophylactic antibiotic administration, if indicated.
Next slide will explain by Raihan. To Raihan, please read the slide.
Okay, thank you, Rizal. Intraoperative or procedural anesthesia based record of event. Immediately prior to the start of anesthesia care and anesthesia procedure. 1. Patient re-evaluation. 2. Confirmation of availability of an appropriate function of all necessary equipment, medication, and staff. B. Psychologic monitoring data. Example, recording of result from routine and non-routine monitoring device. C. Medication administered. Dose time, routine response where appropriate. D. Intravenous fluid type, volume, and time. E. Technique use. Next. Patient position and action to reduce the chance of adverse patient effect or complication related to positioning. G. Additional procedure performed. Vessel location, catheter type or size, specific insert technique. Example, sterile technique, use of ultrasound action to reduce the chance of related complication. Example, catheter-based infection prevention measure, stabilization technique, and dressing. H. Unusual or noteworthy even during surgery and anesthesia care. E. Patient status at transfer of care to staff in post-anesthesia care unit or PACU, or an area which provider equivalent post-anesthesia care. Next. Post-anesthesia. E. Time-based record of event that reflect the patient status on admission and discharge from the post-anesthesia care unit or PACU, as determined by a qualified anesthesia provider or by local departmental prison discharge protocol. Post-anesthesia not to be completed only when a patient is sufficiently recovered from acute administration of anesthesia and can participate in the evaluation or admission to the intensive care unit. B. If the PACU is bypassed, criteria demonstration that patient status at transfer of care are appropriate. Next. C. It is not responsibility of the anesthesiologist to document the patient condition throughout the PACU stay or when leaving the PACU. D. Significant or unexpected post-procedural event or complication. E. Post-anesthesia evaluation documenting physiologic condition and presence or absence of anesthesia-related complication or complaint. Next. Transforming anesthesia document into data. Analyzing detailing clinical information such as drugs and again utilized order sets and equipment use can be incredibly valuable in eliminating waste, increasing operation room turnover, and enhancing other efficient clinical indicator and complication information collected for every patient is also helpful in predicting surgical case duration. Keep in mind that collecting this data is one thing, interpreting it is another. Implementing an anesthesia informatic management system or IEMS makes analyzing anesthesia data accessible and allow other departments to make more informed decisions. Thank you.
All right. Thanks to all the speakers. That's all our presentation about anesthesia documentation. Thanks for attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.